Welcome to the programme. They've exchanged threats and criticism over COVID-19, trade and the South China Sea. Now, the diplomatic war between China and the US has a new front. China's been given 72 hours to shut its consular office in the city of Houston. The US says the move is to protect American intellectual property, and it comes after firefighters in the city were denied entry to the premises following reports that staff were burning documents. China's foreign ministry denies that, accusing the US of violating international law. It's warned that Chinese students in the US to be on their guard for what it calls arbitrary interrogations. This was US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo speaking in Denmark earlier.
We're not going to allow this to continue to happen where you've seen the remarks that National Security Advisor O'Brien gave, that FBI Director Wray gave, and that Attorney General Barr has given. We are setting out clear expectations for how the Chinese Communist Party is going to behave. And when they don't, we're going to take actions that protect the American people, protect our security, our national security, and also protect our economy and jobs.
Well, China has threatened to close the US consular office in Wuhan in retaliation. Katrina Yu has the latest for us.
Certainly, Beijing is furious about this. China's foreign ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin spoke on Wednesday afternoon, calling this act outrageous, unjustified, and said it was an unprecedented escalation. He then listed a number of actions he said the US government had taken against Chinese people in the US in recent months. He said that Chinese diplomats there had been subjected to intimidation, harassment, in some cases detention. He also said that Chinese students were increasingly being interrogated, that personal electronic devices were being confiscated and searched. He also said that there were 2 incidents at least where Chinese diplomatic staff had extra restrictions imposed on them, that diplomatic pouches were searched without permission, that Chinese official items were also confiscated. Both of these would be violations of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. Wang Wenbin also said that the Chinese embassy in the US had received a number of bomb threats and death threats, and he accused the Trump administration of fanning the flames of hatred against China, not only in the US, but overseas as well. And certainly this is just the next escalation, the newest escalation, what has been a diplomatic freefall in terms of relations between the US and China on various fronts, Xinjiang, Hong Kong's national security law, technology and trade. And Beijing says if the US does not pull back from this decision, it will take what it has called legitimate and necessary countermeasures.
Now, Glenn Carl is a former US Deputy National Intelligence Officer for transnational threats. He explains the timing of the decision.
Well, we are in a spiraling crisis, certainly. Relations between the US and China have been deteriorating for some time, and Donald Trump has clearly chosen to make China a bogeyman in his campaign, since everything else seems to be going wrong. You know, if you blame someone else, then that helps you. So that's part of the story. I think that's the political background. Now, the events specifically that led to the decision to close the consulate probably actually occurred. It's not a secret that Chinese intelligence has been increasingly aggressive in the United States. In the last 5 years, perhaps 10, there have been more than 154 arrests by the FBI for Chinese espionage episodes. So these events occur, but it's fundamentally a political decision when to take this kind of a step.